Hello, this is Lucas. Welcome to another CSS video where we will be going over borders. So we can hop straight into it. So I have created ourselves a little div here that contains a header and two paragraphs. So we're going to be adding a border around this. Now you can see that I have some CSS mentioned already. I just set the height to 700 pixels and the width to 700 pixels. So we're going to add a border now around this div. So firstly we need to reference the div, so section, and because it's a div we need to use a hashtag. Now we just specify section. Now we can add ourselves the div or the border. So the way that we add a border is we write border hyphen and then we do style. And now we can set what kind of style we want our border to be. Do we want it to be dashed, dotted, is it the double? We're just going to set it as a solid for now. And now if we go to our page, you can see that we have our border. So this is the border. Now the reason why the border is so big is because we set the width and the height. So I can change the height and the width just so it looks a bit better. Refresh that. You can see that this is the border. Now this border is just a border from our div. So this is just the size of our div that we have mentioned here. And the border will just go literally straight around the border or of that div that we have selected, which is section. So that's the first part, is just setting what kind of style we want it to be. We can have, for example, we'll change this up. We can have a dashed border. So we go back, you can see now that our border becomes dashed. We can change it to what else is there? There's double, there's dotted. Let's try dotted. We refresh that. Now you can see that our border is dotted. So now we are going to be going over how we can change a particular side of the border. So let's say that we just want the top part to be dashed, but we want the sides to be solid, for example. So there's two ways of doing this. There's the slow way, and then there's the fast way. But I'm going to go over the slow way because it's important to know, and then we'll go over the very fast way. So the slow way of doing it is we can specify every single, like we can specify the top, the bottom, or the sides. So we can do a border. You can see we already have it here, top. Then we also need to specify style. And now in here we can specify, let's say we can go solid. Now if we just leave this, we go back to our page, you can see that we have a border only at the top. Because we didn't specify the borders, like the sides and the bottom, they're not going to exist. But we can actually add that in. So we can go, again, we can go, for example, we can go border. Now I guess we can do left. Then we can go with style. And then we can write, let's say we want this one to be dashed. Now we can go back. See now, this side is dashed. But this is a bit slow way to do it. Now, like we have to do a top, we have to do the left, we have to do the right, then we have to do the bottom. There's a very quicker way of doing this. So if we get rid of all of this, the way that we can specify this is we can just do the same way that we did it before the very first time. So we can go border, style. Right, and we had before we had solid, and now this just represents the entire one that we just went over. But what we can do is we can actually add more in here. So we can have solid, then let's say we have dashed. Now the way this works is the very first one will be the top one, and then the second one will be the right hand side. Now if we only specify two of them, this would be the top and bottom, and then this would be the side. So if we go to our page now, and obviously we need to do border, style, solid. Oh, so we don't actually need this one, that's my bad. If we go back, you can see the top is solid, and then the sides are dashed. Now if you want to specify every single side, it basically goes around like a clock. So this is the top side, this is the right hand side, and then if we do, let's say, the bottom as dotted, and then we do the left hand side as think double, just so we can see all of them. Now if we go back to our page, boom, you can see the top is solid, right is dashed, bottom is dotted, and the left side is a double. But for now, to go to the next part, I'm gonna get rid of this, and we'll just have the border. We'll have the border style as a solid, I guess, for now. Okay, so it's looking like this at the moment. Just a nice border. Now we're gonna change the size of our border. Right, so let's say we just want the bigger one, or if you want a small one. So the way we do this is we do border, and then we just do width. And we can do the same thing, right, in here. We can have, for example, you can have border top width, left width, right width as well. We can do the exact same thing. It works the exact same way as the border style. So let's say we want the width to be, we can use pixels firstly. So we can use 5 pixels. And see the border gets a bit bigger. We can use rem as well. So if we do 5 rem, this is going to be pretty big. You can see, boom, 5 rem. We can also use different types as well. For example, we can use like thick. That's one option. There's a few options that we can use. I'll just go over a couple of them. So that's just thick. Then we can do thin. Thin is another one. Thin. It's a bit of a thin border. There are a good amount of widths that we can do, but let's just say let's change it to 5 pixels for now. So our border currently looks like this now. Right. So the next part that we want to do is we want to change the color of our border. So let's say we want a nice, I don't know what color we want, but colors work the exact same way. I made a video before this video about colors, and it works the exact same way. So let's say we do border, then we do color, and then we can specify a color like this. Let's say we want to specify, let's say we want to do blue. We got to our page, our border is blue. Now let's say we want to get multicolors. It works the exact same way that we work with style. So we can do, for example, we can do blue, green, we can do yellow, and then we'll do red. So it works the exact same way. That's the top, right, bottom, and then the very last one is the left. So it just works as a clock. If we go back, we do not need, I always forget, but we do not need these commas here. Now if we go back, you can see we have a multicolored border, which is pretty cool. Now there is a shorter way of doing this, because this here, it involves 3 lines, but we don't want to write a lot of code, do we? We do not want to write all this. So there is a very easier way to do this. All we have to specify is border. Now the very first one that we have to specify is the width. So let's say we want to have as 5 pixels. The next thing that we have to specify is the style. So we want a dash to dotted or solid. We'll do solid for now. And then the very last one that we have to specify is the color. And let's say we just want to do the color green. So instead of writing, border width, border style, border color, we can just have it all under one header, border. And now if we go back to the page, you can see here we have it. Make sure you don't add the commas like I always tend to do. It's a very bad habit. And then the very last thing with borders we'll go over is the radius. So how we want to, let's say we want our border to have like a nice rounded corner, right? But they look way better than just cut off corners. So we need to specify the radius of our border. So we go border radius. Now this is how much of a curve we want our corners to be. So let's say we'll do 6 pixels. We save that. Go back to our page, refresh it. You can see that we have our borders curved here now instead. I'll specify this a bit of a bigger number, so you can see a bit better. Now you can clearly see that the corners are rounded. So that's about it for borders. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.